Most parents don't plan to over-pamper their children. It doesn't start with the intention to spoil, weaken, or overprotect. It usually starts with love, with care, with a desire to give children a better life than the one they have themselves. And that is exactly why this topic is so uncomfortable for many parents, because over-pampering often grows out of good intentions, not bad ones. Many parents today carry emotional memories from their own childhood. Some remember strict rules, emotional distance, or feeling unheard. Others remember financial struggle, missed opportunities, or being told no too often. So when they become parents, a quiet promise forms in their mind. My child won't feel what I felt. That promise feels loving, it feels responsible, but over time, it can slowly turn into a pattern that parents don't notice until it's deeply rooted. Over-pampering rarely looks dramatic. It looks normal. It looks like saying yes a little too quickly. It looks like avoiding discomfort. It looks like solving problems before the child has a chance to feel them. Parents often confuse removing discomfort with protecting mental health. In reality, they are not the same thing. There's also guilt involved more than parents admit. Guilt about working long hours. Guilt about being tired. Guilt about not being fully present all the time. A gift replaces attention. Comfort replaces conversation. Saying yes feels easier than holding boundaries when energy is low. Modern parenting culture quietly reinforces this behavior. Everywhere parents look, they are told to be gentle, understanding, emotionally available. These are good values, but somewhere along the way, gentleness gets misunderstood as constant accommodation. Emotional awareness gets confused with emotional removal. Parents start believing that if a child is ever frustrated, bored, or disappointed, something has gone wrong. But frustration, boredom, and disappointment are not parenting failures. They are part of childhood. Another reason parents over-pamper is fear, not fear of the child, but fear for the child. The world feels uncertain. News cycles are heavy. Social pressure is constant. Parents see rejection, competition, and emotional struggle everywhere. So home becomes a shield, a place where nothing should hurt, where everything should feel safe, where wishes are fulfilled quickly so the child never feels left out. The intention is protection. The outcome is something else. When a child grows up in an environment where discomfort is always removed, they don't learn that discomfort is survivable. They learn that it should be avoided. Parents don't notice this shift early because the child seems happy, calm, content. But this calm is conditional. It exists only when life cooperates. Comparison plays a role. One child gets something, another child wants the same. Parents fear their child will feel deprived or behind. So they give in not because the wish matters, but because comparison feels threatening. Over time, this teaches the child that wanting something strongly is enough reason to have it. Parents don't see this as entitlement. They see it as kindness. Another overlooked factor is how uncomfortable adults themselves are with negative emotions. Seeing a child upset triggers something in a parent. Anxiety, helplessness, a desire to fix the feeling quickly. Parents often act not to help the child, but to calm themselves. Saying yes becomes emotional self-regulation for the adult. And this is important to understand. Over-pampering is often more about adult discomfort than child need. Children are extremely perceptive. That emotional strength is not built by constant comfort, but by guided exposure to reality. Not harsh exposure, not neglect, but gradual, safe, intentional exposure. Before we talk about what over-pampering does to a child, one thing needs to be clear. This is not about blame. Most parents who over-pamper care deeply. They want the best. But wanting the best is not the same as preparing for the real world. In the next part, we'll look honestly at what constant pampering actually teaches a child over time emotionally, socially, and mentally. Not in diary, but in patterns parents start noticing when childhood comfort meets real-world resistance. Because love matters, but so does resilience. Have you ever wondered if you're being too soft on your kids? It's a tricky question because over-pampering doesn't break a child overnight. That's what makes it so hard to notice. The effects creep in slowly, quietly, often disguised as normal childhood behavior. Parents usually only realize something is wrong much later, when their child starts struggling with situations that seem small to us, but feel overwhelming to them. One of the very first signs appears in how a child handles frustration. When every wish is granted instantly and every discomfort is whisked away. A child never gets to practice sitting with disappointment. They don't learn that frustration is a wave that rises and falls on its own. Instead, they learn that frustration is an emergency that someone else needs to fix. Over time, even minor obstacles feel massive. Waiting in line feels unbearable. Being told, "not now," feels like a personal attack. Parents often call this being sensitive, but it's not emotional depth. It's low tolerance for discomfort. Another common effect is a real difficulty hearing the word no. This isn't about disobedience. It's because no feels unfamiliar and foreign. The child isn't prepared for limits because they never practiced them in safe, small ways. Reality doesn't soften its edges to protect their emotions. When a child raised with constant accommodation meets this reality, their reaction is often confusion, anxiety, or withdrawal. They learn that relief comes from the outside, not from within. Parents sometimes mistake this for laziness, but it's not. It's an unfamiliarity with effort that doesn't bring an immediate reward. This also warps how children experience failure. In a protected environment, failure feels catastrophic because it's never been normalized. Children who haven't experienced small, safe failures may have intense emotional reactions to them later. They don't trust themselves to recover because recovery was always done for them. This is often where anxiety enters the picture. Many anxious children aren't weak. They're simply untrained. They haven't learned that discomfort is temporary and survivable. So when stress appears, it feels permanent. The hardest truth to accept is this: love that removes all struggle can unintentionally delay emotional growth. This doesn't mean parents should be harsh or cold. It means they should allow children to face age appropriate challenges without immediately stepping in. Growth happens when a child realizes, I can handle this, not when someone else handles it for them. Recognizing this pattern doesn't mean you failed as a parent. It means you're learning and evolving. The goal isn't to remove love, it's to redirect it. In our next video, we'll talk about why discomfort is not the enemy, and how letting your kids face small realities, safely and gradually, is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen them for the future. After we talked about how over-pampering can affect a child, a lot of parents ask the tough question: if comfort isn't the answer, what is? It's not about being harsh, strict, or emotionally distant. The real answer is something much more subtle: letting your kids experience reality in small, manageable doses. The word discomfort often gets a bad rap in parenting. We hear it and think of trauma, neglect, or harm. But here's the thing: guided, age-appropriate discomfort isn't damaging. It's training. It's how emotional strength is built, just like how physical strength is built through resistance. Kids don't become resilient just by being told they're strong. They learn it in those moments when they feel challenged and then discover they can survive the feeling. Letting children see the world doesn't mean exposing them to danger. It means allowing them to face ordinary frustrations without you immediately stepping in to fix everything. Things like having to wait, losing a game, being bored, hearing the word no, making mistakes, feeling disappointed, and then realizing that feeling doesn't last forever. In many homes today, we parents step in too quickly. A child struggles, and we fix it. A child is upset, and we change the whole environment to make the feeling go away. This sends a powerful, unspoken message: I can't handle discomfort on my own, and that belief follows them into adulthood. But when you allow small discomforts to exist, something amazing happens. The child gets to experience the natural rise and fall of their own emotions. They learn that frustration peaks and then fades. They learn that disappointment isn't permanent. You can't teach this with words. It has to be felt. Another huge part of this is allowing natural consequences, not punishments. When we shield kids from every result of their actions, they don't learn cause and effect. But when consequences are allowed in safe ways, they start connecting their effort with the outcome. This builds responsibility, not fear. Now, a common worry is that allowing discomfort will damage the parent-child bond. But actually, when it's done right, the opposite is true. Children feel more secure when they sense that you trust their ability to cope. Overprotection sends the message that the world is dangerous and the child is fragile. A balanced approach sends the message that the world is challenging, that the child is capable. This also fosters emotional honesty. They stop performing emotions just to get a quick fix from you. They start expressing their feelings more clearly because those feelings are no longer something to escape from. Emotional expression becomes communication, not a strategy. In psychology, this is often called supported autonomy. As a parent, you stay emotionally available, but you don't rush to control the experience. You guide from the side instead of steering from the front. This might look like staying calm while your child is frustrated with a toy instead of fixing it for them. It might mean acknowledging their disappointment without immediately offering a replacement treat. It might just be saying, I know this is hard, and then waiting. Waiting is one of the hardest skills for us parents. We often feel responsible for removing our child's discomfort because it triggers our own anxiety. Watching them struggle can feel like we're failing. But struggle isn't failure, it's information. It tells the child what they need to work on, and it tells you where they need guidance, not rescue. Letting kids see the world also means letting them experience difference. Other people will say no. Other systems won't adjust for them. Other environments won't prioritize their feelings the same way home does. When kids encounter this gradually, they adapt. When they encounter it suddenly later in life, they feel shocked and overwhelmed. This is why sheltered children often struggle later, not earlier. The incredible benefit of all this is emotional confidence. Kids who have practiced coping with small challenges trust themselves more. They don't panic as quickly. They don't need constant reassurance. They know from experience that they can get through uncomfortable moments. This confidence is quiet and steady. And let's be clear, allowing struggle doesn't mean withdrawing love. In fact, boundaries give love structure. They teach children where they end and the world begins. The key is presence without control, being there without interfering, caring without overcorrecting, supporting without rescuing. Letting your child see the world isn't about pushing them out of the nest. It is about slowly opening the door and walking beside them as they learn to stand on their own. The goal isn't to toughen them up. The goal is to prepare them. In our next video, we'll dive into the practical side of this, what to stop doing, what to allow, and how to say no without being harsh or distant. Because boundaries don't have to feel cold, and love doesn't have to be unlimited to be real. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more.